Hi everyone, and welcome to RollBound 2. I am your DM, Chas, and I'm going to go down the list and have everyone introduce themselves, starting with Groove.
Good tidings. I am Groove, and I am bound to the role of Jonathan Oneros Phage.
Alrighty, Allie.
Hello, I'm Ali, and I am bound to the role of Prince Xander.
Alright, Minnow.
Hello, I am Minnow, and I am bound to the role of Vivian Deshays.
Alright, Joey.
My name is Joey, and I'm bound to the role of Jay Elwood. Forgot his last name for a second.
Alright, Dakota.
Hello everyone, my name is Dakota, and I am bound to the role of Lysel.
And last but never least, Mickey.
Hi, I'm Mickey, and I am bound to the role of Emiko.
I kind of jump into it.
Yeah, so where we last left off, you guys had just gotten some supplies and hired some new people for your new home. Because you guys invited Misha and Lev to come back and gave them work, because honestly, losing their family members kind of made readjusting back to Snow's Reach life very difficult. And you guys have a shit ton of free time. I was thinking of just going down, like, in order, but does anyone specifically, mainly because they think theirs is going to be more time-consuming, want to go last?
I should probably be last.
Okay. So with that, we're gonna start off with Lysel.
That would be me, yes. Hi.
Yeah, so, you have 2 weeks of downtime. What were your goals for your time?
So overarching goal, probably the thing that Lysel's going to spend the most amount of time with is helping Vivian get accommodated to their new source of magic. But in between specifically doing that with Vivian, they're going to spend time just essentially playing with / training Aspen, potentially with Vivian's help as well. And then sometime down the line planting another tree to commemorate their victory over the lasagna dragon. Probably putting the soul of the I don't want to say purple worm. It wasn't a worm. It was the purple salamander.
Frost salamander.
Yeah, the frost salamander. Putting the soul of that in there. Maybe doing some kind of I think I said moon husk is the fruit I wanted to do if they can grow out this kind of weather.
Yeah, they can. It takes a little longer than, like, normal, but they can.
But essentially the TLDR is spend time with Vivian, helping her learn / master the new magic. Spend time training Aspen and or just, being with Aspen so that way they have time to bond. As well as planting said tree to commemorate their victory.
Okay, so I need you to roll 2 things for me. The first one is I want you to roll animal handling for me twice.
With advantage with Vivian's help, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that works. I was gonna ask if Aspen is being trained to be used as a mount at any capacity, or if they're still too small for that.
Definitely too small for that, probably, but that's up to the DM.
Right now, Aspen is too small. Actually, I finally have the chance to say this out loud, because I'm being asked about it. Aspen is growing at an alarming rate. I mean, Aspen was a tiny little baby about a week ago, because you guys have only been in Snow's Reach for around a week. And now Aspen is about the size of, like, a medium-sized dog. So, if y'all have seen a picture of my dog, Aspen is about the size of my dog.
Marty, when I last heard, it was about the size of a puppy.
Yeah. And that...
what skill is survival? Not survival, animal handling?
Wisdom.
Okay. Nice. So for the first one, I got an 18.
Right.
And the second one, I got a natural 20 for a total of 23.
All right. And then
You need to do some mount training. The Knight of Retka, who trained his fucking horse, can help with that.
gotta do a side quest to go get
The perfect
Jelwood's
saddle.
horse.
Yeah,
Oh.
we gotta go find my horse, man. He's gone. He's lost to the wilds. I don't know where the
I
fuck
mean,
he is.
you got 2 weeks and are moving from one civilized area to another. Maybe.
Ah, Mareka's
No.
so far away, though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, no, you can't get to Rekka in 2 weeks.
No, that's some
Got it.
magic BS.
You can barely.
To be fair, we are in Snow's Reach. Magic BS is not out of the question. I actually don't know if Kelmra has teleporters yet.
Well, that does raise a separate question that I can get to when it comes to my downtime, so I'll keep that one in the tank.
yeah. So, I also, before I get to tell you what happens with Aspen, in what ways do you want to help Vivian get used to her new magic?
Well, I was thinking either, depending on the specific spells that Minnow's planning to give Vivian, providing a moving target, or providing just general, kind of like a combat threat, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe advice from their specific font of magic. I know that Reapers are not charisma casters, but like neither are druids, so kind of same boat.
Yeah. Now I'd like you to make me an Arcana check.
Oh boy, that I'm much less good at. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna re-roll the 8 with the soul point. Why not? Ah, I got
Reroll it?
worse.
I thought you added something to it.
No, you can re-roll a check with soul points. Well,
Oh.
I got a natural 1 for a total of 0.
Oh no. Yeah, for like regular skill checks, you can re-roll it before you know like the result, and then no, I don't think you need it. You just can re-roll it, and then for saving throws, you can spend a soul to add your wisdom modifier to it. Yeah. So, what happens with Aspen is that Aspen, you would notice, has been growing at an alarming rate and is kind of in a, very bitey stages, just kind of biting and jumping on shit and being a little crazy, so, but has like a very strange bond with you, like now that Aspen can like walk around and run around and stuff. Aspen is just kind of like hovering by you at all times, and will bite people if they come close, until you tell Aspen like, no, don't do that. And that's something that you were focusing on, is building up that trust, because it seems that this trust that Aspen has with you is more territorial than it is actual like trust. So you're building up that trust with Aspen and making sure that Aspen is, understanding that you and the rest of the Silver Lining are all, like, kind of like Aspen's family. And, you are starting a little bit more training to give them a little more discipline. So, if you're gonna bite somebody, know when to bite them and stuff like that. But as the 2 weeks progress, Aspen, by the end of the downtime, is about the same height as you, almost.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Aspen is growing at an alarming rate. And you can definitely tell, because you and Vivian already deduced this, that it is the influence of the wild magic of the Aether Spine from when you traveled to and from, in the Aether Spine, since it was just a little egg. And I believe I said Aspen was a boy, right?
You never said, actually, because I tried to make a check for it, but I didn't make a high enough check.
Oh, man. Well,
Now that they're huge.
yeah, now that Aspen is grown, you can tell that Aspen is a boy.
Yeah, Vivian can now tell when Aspen's standing next to her without having to crouch down to check. So get that out of my face.
Walks over, hey, I'm walking here. Could you not?
Yeah, and
Vivian walks in with a black eye, is like, I don't want to talk about it.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Oh.
What's the dog doing?
What the
Oh
dog?
no.
What the dog doing? But
What's the dog doing?
the tips of Aspen's feathers are also like glowing colors, but they are inconsistent colors.
Ooh.
So like based on like what angle you look at Aspen, the tips of their feathers are like pink or blue or yellow or green. Very pretty. But Aspen is not quite grown enough to be a mount yet, but is getting very close, because they are growing very, very quickly.
Well, I think we'll probably like start training Aspen to like, how to be a mount by maybe saddling them with some light-ish bags.
Yeah, you can also picks up Emiko or picks up Vivian. I'm kidding. But yeah, you have made sufficient progress on teaching, especially since Aspen is growing so much. It's been good that you have taught Aspen not to bite people anymore, because now he is at a point where biting people really hurts. Also can yump really high.
Ooh, yumpies.
Y'all, I just realized if you cast Reduce on Emiko, she becomes tiny.
Uh-huh.
Itty
That's
bitty.
crazy.
Okay.
Just fucking Funko Pop sized Emiko.
Marketable plushie Emiko.
Does that make her a target for the catapult spell?
I think it does.
Oh my god.
And they'd be fine because they have Slowfall.
Oh my god. Someone catapult me.
Nah, I think catapult specifies an object.
And then, Lysel, for, the stuff with Vivian, it feels like you're not helping, but Vivian probably swears that you are. You did make very good target practice. But again, this is all so new, and since, Vivian has such a innate magic, that it just seems like a different, type. But at the very least, when it's Vivian's turn to do the downtime stuff, she will get advantage on her checks to master her new magic. At the very
Yeah,
least.
that's all I could ask for. When you said Arcana check, I was like, oh no.
Uh-oh.
Reggie.
Stinky.
But yeah, the 2 weeks of your downtime are very productive and relaxing, and you get to spend time with a friend and your little buddy. Is there anything else you want to accomplish before I move on?
If there is time for it, and if there is a library, perhaps researching into instances in which Reapers had to intervene with, the affairs of the mortal plane, as seeing as how Ida seems to be preparing YSL for something, maybe they can guesstimate what it could possibly be based on what's happened in the past.
Yeah, I make an investigation check.
Oh boy, another intelligence check, my favorite. Ooh, that's not actually bad. That's a total of 16.
Yeah, there's actually records that are recent. So there's a continent in Teosia that currently is walled off by a giant fuck-off storm. You literally can't go there, without other means, because there is a very bad war going on over there right now. So much so that they've basically decided that they don't want anyone else coming in because of how bad
A
the war
war, you
is.
said.
Yes. Yeah, you're catching on. I'm getting to that. And there was a battle actually recently. I mean, within the last couple of years, recent, where every single Reaper pillar, the pillars, not even just those that work for them, descended down in one spot to fight off an army.
Must have been a heck of an army.
Yeah, the pillars obviously destroyed them, but basically the leading general of this war on one of the sides basically went to the Reapers and asked their guidance because of how big the death toll was going to be and how important it was that this battle was won. And the articles and books that you find don't really detail how this arrangement was made, because asking the Reaper Pillars themselves, for one, is very hard, and to get them to agree is even harder. But they all descended upon this location and absolutely, well, they helped decimate this other army. And while the main people fighting that fight were doing what they needed to, and the war is still going on over there, but it's one of the biggest battles, probably, if not the biggest battle thus far in that war. And there's basically like some writing, like speculation, that when something world changing or area or something that can affect the world regionally changing, Reapers start preparing. It could be that the threat is a singular person. It could be that the threat is an army. It could be that the threat is an event. Reapers aren't able to necessarily tell the future, because, well, they can't really tell the future, but they can get instincts on things that are about to happen and people who are about to die. And then they kind of investigate what leads to that and prepare accordingly the best that they can. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Well, I actually rolled high for that, because that's a lot of really interesting information.
But, with that all being said, we're gonna move on to the next one, and because we were talking about it, Vivian.
Jazz.
What are you, attempting to accomplish over your downtime?
Yeah, I think Vivian's downtime is pretty simple. She's going to be focusing mostly on getting in tune with her new magic, helping out Lysel wherever possible. Also, I think she's just free to jump in anybody else's stuff. Vivian, I have described in the past as extremely nosy, and I think that one of the ways that comes up is that if you're trying to do some downtime stuff alone, no, you're not anymore. And so, I imagine that there's definitely times where Lysel would be in the library researching stuff, and all of a sudden there'd be another book in their bag that they didn't realize was there. Because Vivian can't leave anything alone. She's also going to write a letter to her mentor, Madame Pendle, back in Hopestone, way back, with sort of just the way that Vivian writes is very much almost like a military report. And so, reading between the lines, it seems very, very casual about her transition into a sorcerer instead of a druid, and just sort of a matter-of-fact thing. However, anyone who knows her as well as Madame Pendle, which probably is only not even Vivian herself, can read some of the panic into it. But she is also going to include a list of the things that she has knocked off on her list of 100 things that adventurers must do. Mostly doing this as a way to show, look, I'm doing it, boss. Got it. Completely missing the point that she's supposed to be enjoying herself and is treating this more like a test. But God damn it, she's going to pass. She's also going to include some sketches of her comrades, as well as some of the things that she's seen, people that she's met, places that she's been. And I think we'll sign it off with something saying that she hopes to mark off the last 2 items on her list soon, but that she thinks it's probably still going to be a while. And as always, because, again, witches are very nosy, she is also going to let her know about what they're doing with the Skinari and the upcoming plan, but is basically going to write it in such a way that's I'm really excited for this circus, so if it does get intercepted, she hasn't written out, we're going to try and kill a bunch of Skinari there. But enough for her to figure it out. But apart from that, yeah, mostly just focusing on her new magic.
Yeah, so what I would like you to do is I would like you to make an Arcana check at advantage.
Sure. Vivian, surprised to find that she's actually a little bit better at this now than she was before. Seemingly as though the new source of magic has opened her eyes to new things. That is a 19 plus 6, 25 plus nothing, because I don't have guidance anymore.
Okay, so what was the end again?
25.
Okay. Yeah, so with the help from Lysel, you find yourself able to, control a lot more of your magic. You find it less, I guess, daunting to attempt. You are able to focus a little more, understand yourself a little more. You understand more that, like, you know, the shadow magic is not necessarily, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, you know? Just like the environmental factors changing you and, you know, the spur of the moment just changes of yourself. But also, during this training over the course of 2 weeks and also helping out others, but mostly honing on your magic has allowed you to learn one first level spell.
Ooh, do I get to pick the spell?
Yeah.
Man.
Magic missile, shield, protection from good and evil.
Does it have to be a sorcerer spell?
Preferably, yes.
Okay, I was going to take Goodberry just because she's still adjusting to the fact that she needs to cook meals for herself again. But we can, I'll figure something out. Cool, yeah, I'll take that. I think also worth mentioning during this time, she attempted to take her medicine one other time, and this time barely got it down before she just started spitting up teeth that were not her own. She's not sure what that's about, but has since then has not been taking her medicine to quiet the demon. But it doesn't seem to be affecting her the way that it usually does when she avoids it for too long. So, living the dream. And that's it.
1 second, I have to fix my chair.
You good?
Was that to DM or?
Yeah.
Alright.
So sorry. There was a cord stuck in my chair, and it was, like, really stuck, and I couldn't move my chair.
Oof.
But also I needed to grab my charging cord for my headset. Yeah.
Also want to know something really funny is that the 3 spells Joey listed I already have, so I'm still looking for a 4th.
Yeah.
Oh shit, really? I mean, they are like the best fucking like first level sorcerer spells, so in my humble opinion.
Also, you have now given everyone at least one source of advantage from helping all of them for one of their roles in each of their tasks.
It's terrifying, by the way. Like, she just either shows up suddenly, or like you look down and be like, "Fuck, I'm out of this thing," and you look down and you realize that she packs some extra for you.
She's just there.
Hey, Chaz, real quick, can you, did you see the question I put into the group notes?
Oh, yeah. So the individuals are called the Dolorcanes.
Oh my god.
The what? One more time?
I'm gonna write it in DM references.
Okay. That works.
Holy fuck.
I was hoping to learn a little more about who got massacred, because that's that. You know, if a group is designated as a threat by the pillars themselves, they gotta be something.
Oh, they definitely are something. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the Dolorcanes is what they're called.
Does Vivian have Disguise Self?
She doesn't. I was thinking about it, but I'm also having such a hard time imagining Vivian ever in disguise ever.
Unironically, I think you could probably take sleep and get away with it.
Maybe. I'll let you know. That is something I had not considered, but I'll put it under consideration. Anyway, that's my downtime.
Alright, so.
Of casting sleep let you cast it on higher hit points?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
I think it adds 2d8 per spell level or some shit.
Oh my god.
Correct.
That
Alright.
could be potentially devastating because there's no save for that to my knowledge.
There is not.
Okay, so, for the, next thing, we'll do J.
Okay. Jay would like to do a couple of things. The Artisan's Shadow, that rapier that I got from the big bad mean man that we killed a couple sessions ago.
Yeah.
Right now, I still have my original longsword. Like the sword that's still like on my character art. I would like to see if there was a way to condense my golf bag a little bit by taking both of my rapiers, the Artisan Shadow and the Enlightened Rapier, and putting those two things on Jay's signature sword.
So instead of it being two rapiers, you want to condense both their magics into a longsword?
My longsword, yes.
Okay. Do you have... Because there's two ways you could do this. Do you have, a proficiency in any tool sets?
I think I'm supposed to, but I never picked. Why? Do I need, like, smithing tools or something?
Well, because I'm saying if you have proficiency with smith's tools, you can attempt to do it yourself, or you can take it back into the city and pay someone to do it for you.
Yeah, I think the only tool proficiency that I have is a disguise kit.
Might be better to pay somebody anyway. Our artificer's out of town right now.
True. Let me check. I don't think Paladin gets any motherfucking tool proficiencies.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they don't. So for me, it's literally just the disguise kit. So yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that anyways. Who's our artificer, and why are they out of town?
Johnny.
Johnny's an artificer?
Yeah.
One level, I
Dude.
believe.
Oh,
His
okay.
his first level is an artificer.
That's insane. I didn't know that. Okay, I thought he was just full.
Yeah, technically his favorite class is artificer.
That's crazy. Okay. Thank you for using terms I understand.
You're welcome. now that I know what Pathfinder is, I can do that. Also, everybody drink.
Alright, so you're gonna take it into town and have them do that?
Yeah.
So likely to condense two magical weapons onto one, it'll likely cost you like 150 gold pieces.
That's nothing.
Per item or just in general?
It would be, since you have two rapiers, it would probably be, they'd probably give you a deal and make it 100 per sword, so 200 GP total to take both swords to transfer it.
Easily done, and so the way that I imagine this is one day during downtime while Lysel is deep in their own shit, and Xander is off trying to do his thing. I imagine it would go something to the effect of Jay's like, "All right, everyone, I'm heading out," and then he heads out. And inside of the saddlebag, Vivian is just there. And when he gets to the actual place, And they're like, all right, yeah, we can do that for you. Just need 200 gold pieces and however much time it's going to take. And then Jay would look over to where he assumes Vivian is, and he would say, Vivian, a moment of your time, please.
She hands you 200 gold without looking up from her book.
What? No, I didn't. What?
Is that what you need?
Actually, I was going to ask if you would like to help me name my sword.
Name your sword. She
Yes.
sets down the book, puts it away.
And the
Says-
artisan's shadow is hardly one befitting a warrior of the light, is it not?
You see a glint in her eye. This is the most important thing that she has done this entire adventure. And says, yes, absolutely. You could not have come to a better person. Which sword is this? This is the rapier and what else?
So basically what I'm doing is I'm taking the rapier that casts fairy fire on things that I hit, and the artisan's shadow. I am removing their magical properties, like stickers, and then slapping them onto my longsword.
Got it. Okay.
So it's still it is my sword because it's his fucking sword.
Yeah.
And he's trying to figure out like what he should name it.
Damn. I can't believe you just dropped this on me on a Monday night.
Yep.
Just out of nowhere.
Yep.
Did you have any ideas we could spitball? Work off of things?
Is this in character?
Yes.
Well, I've taken to calling the Fairy Fire's sword the Enlightened Rapier, seeing as how it turns my enemies into a beacon for others to strike. And the Artisan's Shadow, being a sword that is almost the opposite and shrouded in complete darkness, I was hoping we could do something with that.
Sort of a night and day motif.
Yes.
Or the transitional periods between them. We'd call it twilight, something related to dusk or dawn. What do they call it when the moon is in the sky during the day? Doesn't that have a name?
Perhaps it does. Allow me to scour the texts. I'm looking it up on Google.
It's called a daytime moon.
That's so lame. Every now and then English has like a real banger, like butterfly, boom, 10 out of 10. Wonderful word. Daytime moon, fucking get it together. That sucks.
Or it's called a first quarter moon.
Better. Not great, but better.
Some guy said I sometimes call it the Death Star.
I don't think we can do that one. I
don't think we can do that either.
I like that.
Disney's gonna come for my fucking knees.
Should call it the corpse sun or something. Does this need to be done right now?
This is the most important part of my downtime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I am willing to spend the next 3 hours doing this.
I don't think we can spend that much time on it because I think between the two of us we should be able to name something pretty decently well. Glimmering Hope is not bad. Maybe we can do something with that. Like glimmering, like
I mean, here's the thing. What's your aesthetic for a sword? Because for me, a good sword, one word. Glimmer, honestly, not terrible.
Glimmer's not a bad name for a sword.
Or it's like, I'm also a fan of words that probably should be hyphenated, but instead are like smushed together. Duskglow or something.
Let me pull up a translator real quick.
Oh, now you're talking.
I got you, Joey.
Wait, glimmer is just glimmer in Latin? There's no fucking way.
There's many fucking ways. Welcome to the English language. The dipshit whip isn't bad. Have you considered the dipshit whip?
I don't think so.
We could call it the whip shit.
Good. I don't know that JL. What is the name Elwood is transatlantic, but where is its original? Middle English.
So you
Fuck,
want like the
that pretty much
Saxon
just-
word for
Pretty much just puts us back straight into Latin, doesn't
right back into Latin, doesn't it?
it? Where did that lead you? Right back to me.
Right back to me.
I mean, you can go with Glimmer. I think that's actually pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Glimmer's a pretty good name for it.
Yeah.
I think that's the strongest contender right now.
Because it's
Here, let me-
either
Joey, what are you talking about? Glimmer in Latin is lumen.
no, that's light.
That's what
guess-
Google's telling me. Lumen's pretty good though. I'd say
Lumen is
Glimmer or
also-
Lumen.
Lumen is also good. I don't know, because I think Lumen is more like Lumen is supposed to be like actual like bright, like brightness. Whereas
Yeah.
Glimmer is like fading.
And to the thesaurus. I think Glimmer's great. I figure it out. That's a good one. Shout out to whoever put that in chat. I think it was Dakota. I don't remember what chat it is because there's 12 different chats.
It definitely wasn't me.
Yeah, it was. You're
Like the initial suggestion, sure, but they have a better idea for like just the first word.
Boom. What do you think?
What do I think of Glimmer?
Yeah.
It's so close.
It's so close. We're almost
So
there.
close. Yeah, it's like
All right.
that's
We're-
the motif, not the motif. That's the aesthetic.
I mean, here's a suggestion. You can like think about it as you're listening to everybody else's like downtimes, and then come up with it by the time we're done with the last person. If you're like undecided.
I will say, Latin word for dusk is Vespera,
Whoa.
and I think that sounds pretty dope.
Hang on. Can I give you one more?
Sure.
So it is the darkness and the light put together. So perhaps beyond like Twilight or that transitional period, but instead to like the night sky. How do you feel about Nebula?
Ah, we did it, boys. We figured it out.
I like
There we
Nebula a
go.
lot. I like it a lot.
Done. Light in the night sky. Dunzos.
Nebula. Got it.
And in your
Nebula-
ballad that we write, it's going to be the glimmering nebula. But when you talk about it, it's just going to be Nebula.
Nebula is kick fucking ass. All right, we did it.
Mickey said Nebby.
Nebby.
I
Nebby.
love it.
That's what I call my third nipple.
All right. So it is now a longsword with a 20-foot reach.
Oh, hold on, bestie. I got you, bestie.
No.
1 second. 1 second. I got you.
It's actually 40.
60-foot range.
That
I
would
would
be
be
insane.
pissed.
God.
I mean, as a paladin, that'd be pretty fucking dope. I'm just
Joey,
saying.
what's your
Reverie.
aura called?
Reverie shakes.
Which aura?
Um,
The aura of alacrity.
what's the aura? What's the paladin aura called? Where you like, where someone's like, "I'm making saving throw," and you go, "Add 6."
That is the aura of protection.
Thank you.
Protection and harm. Now it does damage.
If you make a saving throw in his aura of protection, you get syphilis.
Such a fucking.
That's not the kind of notion I'm trying to send to the people of the
Yeah, we can call it
opposite
the
moral compass.
aura of should have used protection.
I mean, Gelwood is immune to diseases, so.
And guess where Nebula is going? Right to the top of the fucking list, right next to Akios' heart, because I still need to keep that thing on me for the dark vision. Alright. Nebula slashing weapon, we got it figured out. Now I just need to get this this Firebrand Warhammer figured out.
20-foot
I got
reach, plus one weapon, 3d8 plus 1d8 necrotic force the target to make a con save against your spell save DC. Advantage, uses 1d4. Additionally, Once per day, you spend a bonus action to heal creatures within your order of protection, an amount equal to your level. That's
That's really strong.
That's pretty
pretty
good.
fucking good. Yeah.
That's good.
That's just a free 7 hit points if you're standing near me.
That's a good. Holy shit, we're gonna TPK. A little
Especially
bit.
because you don't have a bonus action. Right now.
Effectively, what Cass has done is given Gelwood mass healing word.
And
Yeah.
It's a con save against my spell save DC. Con save versus spell DC. And if they fail, all attacks against that creature are at advantage
Until the start of your next turn.
until the start of my next turn. Okay. I think that was basically the same thing that the other sword did.
It was.
Cass, can I make a suggestion? Instead of the 1d4 times per day, it should be 4 charges per day and have it recover 1d4 charges at the start of each day.
At dawn, as they call it.
Yeah. Because that's much more clear.
Also, I typed macrotic, not necrotic.
Macrotic.
All right.
Yeah, and this takes about 5 days for the
5
Arcanist
days.
to make.
And then my armor, I'm not going to name it, but can I get that enchanted as well to just be +1 armor? Or enchant my shield to be a +1 shield? Just to do something with that, because...
Yeah, that would also probably be around like 150 gold pieces.
Yeah, that's fair.
Can I get on that too? Some magic armor?
Yeah, if you wanted to just be +1, then it would be 150. If you wanted to have an effect, it would probably be 250.
Would it be 150 per piece, like for both the armor and the shield, or
Yes.
would the shield cost more? Okay. Ooh,
The-
no, I'm
HS.
not
Hey,
that
me.
low.
A thing that I can help with. So there's been something that I've been holding on to for a very long time because I thought I was going to make armor, but now I can't wear it. So I have the, I believe it was a golden oak leaf that was given to us by that unicorn.
Yeah.
It gives you a static +1 for like a day, I think, which Vivian has not used because I was going to add it to armor. Can I add it to one of their armors now, and they can be a +2 instead of a +1?
Alright, who wants a cool golden leaf embroidered on the front chest plate of their armor?
I mean, if it's leaf, it's gotta be Lysel.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be pretty sweet.
Alright. AC's 23 now, and I can up that.
Holy
The 25
Tiddles.
Shield of Faith.
All right, so I will mark that off. Enjoy. I've been holding on to that ever since I realized that I was bad at Druid and I could have had medium armor the whole time.
Elwood, aka the Bronx Nightmare, aka Big Timmy.
Now I just need to get my now I just need to get fighting initiate next level so I can grab defense and have that be bumped up to a 24, and then we're being chilling.
I'm just saying, Gelwood in my headcanon wears Tim's.
So,
And for the
They're
hymns,
made of steel.
Steel toe Tim's, yeah.
Lysel, so you put down 250 for an armor with an effect. What type of effect are you looking for?
I think we just got it, didn't we?
Oh, you,
I mean, if we can do Leaf Plus effect, absolutely.
Yeah, that would probably... Imbuing a magic item into it, plus the armor, plus that, would probably be like 300 rather than 250, but they could do
That's
it.
fine. That's totally fine.
You know what I think would be really fucking dope to get you?
Huh.
A set of armor that made you turn invisible while you're moving.
What type of armor do you wear, Lysel?
I believe we're heavy.
You are a War Reaper.
I have half plate armor, as far as I can tell.
Half plate is medium. What's your strength?
It doesn't matter, 'cause I'm a War Reaper. But it's true.
Oh, true. True. I forgot about that. We We should get you some fucking adamantine plate armor or some shit. Well, maybe not, actually. You taking crits is bad for you, but, like, at the same time, it almost always kills whoever hits you.
Oh, yeah. All right, Mordecai and or Rigby.
Jesus.
Rigbone.
But yeah, I would say if I don't know what the magic leap effect is, and I'm not really sure what my options are for like bonus effect for the armor. But whatever you have to have the market for, I'm not terribly picky.
I actually don't remember what magic armors there are in this game.
All right. So, Jay, is there anything else you want to accomplish over your downtime? Because that was 5 days of it. So
Yeah, now that I've given my armor a bit of a tune-up and I condensed the golf bag, so now I can fit even more shit into it. Because I still have a two-handed weapon that I basically never use, but should the time arise where I need it, because psychic damage or some shit. I guess I wanted to be helping Lysel get Aspen Mount trained. But the other thing that I was going to do, actually, is see if I can have somebody here in town cast a scrying spell on my horse.
yeah, you actually can do that fairly easy. So where do you last remember your horse being?
If I am remembering... Where is... Nope, those are both my books. Sorry.
Do you need a map of Kelmra?
Yeah, where did we start the,
We started the campaign in Farwood.
That's right, I remember. The last place I would have remembered my horse being is Skymount.
Alright. So...
Because I got into battle in Skymount. And then that's where I got kidnapped.
Alright, so... basically, you have someone do that for you, and you see that your horse is in Firefall.
The fuck? Okay.
Which is the city that borders Skymount in Vyron.
Still far, isn't it?
Far from Snow's Reach, yes, but it is the very long city that borders Skymount, because they are both kind of like literally touching.
A Tale of Two Cities.
No. Will I have time to go get the horse and come back?
The trip from License to Skymount was 3 weeks.
That's a hard no, buddy.
Yeah.
So it would take you 6 weeks to go all the way there and then come all the way back.
Yeah, that's not happening.
So that's a no on the teleporters thing, huh?
Based on the scry, because the scry would show me like its current relative situation, right? Like it kind of lets you look at the person from a bird's eye view or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Can I discern if the horse is like in a good situation?
You see that he appears to be in a stable, in a, I don't want to say bad side of town, but it looks like the edge of the city, so not like the big part of the city, but like the outskirts of it. And you see that the person tending to him is like a kid, like maybe like 13 years old. He looks a little dirty, you know, but not like unkempt dirty, just like, you know, not pampered and, well taken care of, but, like regular horse dirty. And your horse is still wearing everything that signifies that he belongs to somebody. So if you had like your knight insignia on him, or like a saddle that had like a name written on it or etched into it, that is still on him. But there just looks to be like a little it looks like a kid that's like on like a farm of some kind is like checking on him.
So he's in good hands. I can let him rest.
Yeah, like obviously the individuals taking care of him can tell that he belongs to somebody and are trying to like just take care of him.
Is there anything in their area that would determine like the name of the family or something similar? Like, can I tell who is taking care of them and like write them a letter letting them know that the rightful owner is safe and sound, and that like he appreciates them looking after his horse and can compensate them, kind of thing?
Make me a I'm gonna say survival check, or we'll make it history.
History?
Yeah.
I'm here for history. That's an 8.
Have you used my help yet?
No, but I will. 18.
Better.
18. Let me.
You gave me a plus 10 to that. Thank you.
A plus teen.
10.
So you know that because you're from Viron for the most part, because Retka is
just south of all that.
Yeah, and is part of Viron itself. There is a farm that is still considered part of the city, but is on its edge, and the family that lives there is not part of this family, but it's a farm owned by the Trikel house, which is a noble family in Viron that owns the Trikel Trading Company. You know that there is that in that specific farm, while it is owned by the Trikel family, the people that actually work there are a smaller family of Arakin. Let me grab something real quick. You know that that farm is being tended to by a Arakin family with the surname Ertas.
Excellent. With this knowledge, Jay is going to find whatever passes for a post office. And he's going to write a letter with... farmers don't make a lot, do they?
Considering... usually they don't. Since this is owned by the Trikel family, they probably make a little more than the average farmer. But, like, they're still farmers.
He is going to put 102 gold, so that I can round out my gold, into a pouch. And then attach a letter to the pouch. The letter enclosed will essentially say something to the effect of, this is Sir J. Elwood, a knight from Retka. It has come to my understanding that you currently have my horse, whose name I don't think I've ever said out loud during the campaign. His name is Ventus. I appreciate all the work that you've put into making sure that he stays healthy and hale. And in the event that I do come to retrieve him, it will be long after you receive this, so I have enclosed an amount of gold to the number of 102 pieces that should help not only take care of him, but also compensate you for your efforts. and I'm gonna give that to somebody that can either curry it over to where their farmstead is, or what is it? Have like a bird that can carry something about the size of 102 gold pieces across that far of a distance.
I am so happy that I get to mention this in a RollBound game. Well, I did technically for the last one, but then, you can take it to Snow's Reach's Fur Drake Exchange.
They have fucking drakes deliver the letters? Dude, these farmers are gonna be in for a fucking spectacle. I'm not even there and they're witnessing my glory. Fuck yes.
Yeah.
We are sending that on a dragon.
Yeah, for your reference, there are these little posts that kind of look like mailboxes, but then they have these little perches. And there's these little creatures that are basically like cat-sized, bat-like creatures. They have long tails and hands at the ends of their wings, but these ones actually have like more fingers, because all bats kind of have little handsies, but these ones have like 4 fingers that they can properly grip with. And they look like the cross between a bat, a cat, and like a pseudo-dragon.
Do they, are they intelligent? Like, do they speak?
Yes!
Or understand speech at the very least?
Yes! When you give them the gold, which it's only like a silver piece for them to send it all the way to Viron, they put it in a little pouch on their belly.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking 100% do that. That sounds kick ass.
I like to imagine that after their shifts are over, they stop off in taverns for beer.
They do drink. They do drink.
Hopefully not on the job.
Yeah. And right before the downtime is over for you, Gelwood, you receive a letter back. Also from
Really?
a fur. Yep, also from a fur drake. They are very fast.
Damn.
Yeah, so 7 days later, you receive one back. Fur drakes also have their ways. They are charmed creatures, but they also have like an 120-foot fly speed.
That's fine.
Jesus.
Yeah, they are fast little creatures. But a different fur drake comes back and gives you a letter that is written in probably the worst handwriting you've ever seen. You can still read it, but it's horrible. And you realize that the person who wrote you back was that kid that you saw when scrying. Basically it says along the lines of like, that's really cool. My parents told me to write the letter because I've been the one taking care of him. I think he has a really cool name. I've been making sure that his mane is brushed and that his hooves are cleaned. I've kept his saddle and all of his other stuff. I'm so glad to hear that not only are you alive, but still remembering your horse and looking out for him. Me and my family will happily take care of him for as long as you need to come get him. P.S. He misses you.
Did the kid leave his name?
He did. His name is Arthur.
Really?
But yeah. If there is nothing else for... sorry, I burped like 3 times in a row. But moving on, we will now go to Emiko.
Okay, hold on just one second. I'm going through like a whole bunch of stuff in our past loots to try to make sure I have everything before I start. But the first day of the downtime, Emiko would take Vivian and Xander shopping for her new clothes. Spending like time together before going back, and she and Johnny are going to be spending a lot of time in one of the rooms in Xander's house, so I'm assuming that's where we're staying.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and we're going to be working on crafting the boot, the ice skates that Emiko's gonna be wearing. And I already finished half of the blades. You said you wanted me to roll another check to finish the blades. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah. So, I know that you were getting, help before from, Johnny.
Yes. For, yeah.
But, because Johnny is not here currently, for your skates, you can finish them. I would just need you to make me, just because it's mostly the finer details of it, I'm gonna let you do this. I would like you to make me a sleight of hand check.
Okay, with advantage, fucking rabbit's foot if I need it, and, what is this fucking thing? Enhance ability, I think. Sleight of hand.
Yep.
23 with a natural 20.
Nice.
Can I describe the materials that she's going to be using to make everything?
Yes.
For the blades, it's going to be base dragon bone that she has carved down into the blade shape. And to reinforce it, she's going to be melting down the ruby and sapphires to coat the blade. And then for the laces, she's going to be using phase spider hair and ectoplasmic webbing to like weave the laces of the boots. And for the boots in themselves, she's going to make it out of like a hybrid of wyvern hide, salamander hide, and griffin hide.
Holy shit.
Ooh. Nice.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah, Dragon Gliders. These skates grant you one additional dash action per turn, and you ignore difficult terrain. It has a 5-foot range and does 2d6 slashing damage on a hit, and you gain +1 to dex saves.
Awesome. And then you said that would take about a week. So after that, she's going to spend the last week purely training on these weapons. mostly focusing on where and how to make the best strikes with these weapons that would be the most effective in like 1 or 2 hits. So like weak spots.
Yeah, I would like you to make me 2 acrobatics checks.
And
If you'd like, you could say that Vivian is helping you with this, and that you're basically like trying to find, or just like sparring each other as she's learning her own magic.
yeah.
So you're just kicking the shit out of her as she's throwing fireballs at you.
The three-way fight Sash included myself.
Hell yeah.
25 for the first one. And 23 for the second one.
Okay, so over the course of the last week, you are training, and there's a lot of frozen water outside, so you can even practice while properly ice skating. And there's, you kind of get really good at doing like a really sick like kickflip where you can like pierce somebody in the fucking throat. And I believe, Mickey, your goal with this was to become like proficient with these.
Yes.
And yeah, with well over 20 on both checks, you do gain proficiency with your ice skates.
Nice. Okay. And like between sessions and like any time that she's like exhausted from fighting or something, she's going to be spending time with Levi just to mostly train him how to like run away from a fight when it's happening, because he's still too small.
Yeah, he is getting a bit bigger though. And yeah. Make me an animal handling check.
Yes. I'm gonna use my sparkler.
Damn!
I rolled like shit. Oh, I got another natural 20. Woo.
Natural 1 to a natural 20.
Yeah, so
Animal handling is 24.
yeah, so thing is normally this is something you'd have to just train an animal to do initially, but for Levi, you have to train him out of something. Kaldasts are naturally very defensive creatures. He has an instinct to protect you at all times, and you basically have to teach him how to ignore that instinct, because like say when you're sparring, he would like sometimes like run defensively in front of you. Because that is just how Kaldasts are. They're very territorial, and you are his friend, and so he wants to protect you. So you have to teach him, basically... but you basically have to teach him out of that habit, out of that protective instinct, at least until he is bigger. Because he's big right now, but he is not true to how crazy Kaldasts get. And it is mostly successful. You actually find a way where you can tie this to like a command, where he will disengage, basically.
Awesome.
And if there's nothing else for Emiko to get done on her downtime, I believe we can move on. And I believe that leaves Xander.
Indeed. So we kind of already discussed what I wanted to have happen for the downtime. How did you want to tackle, like, sort of the description of it?
The best way I can say it is in order. Just...
Okay, I think I might just read what I sent to you, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, his chess and I sort of discussed this in between sessions. What I sent them was, I think Xander's realization of a higher calling pulls him to use his talents for diplomacy rather than destruction. He has a long conversation with Nimra, his mother, and she basically informs him, after they discuss it, and, he discusses what he wants to do going forward. She informs him she can use her genie powers to grant him a silver tongue to help him pursue this new goal, but it will come at the cost of the other powers she's granted him. He accepts this offer, and basically all of his warlock abilities are stripped from him. However, his Aether has still become much more powerful due to his experiences with the Silver Lining and, the stuff we've done so far. During this time of, sort of transitioning his skill set, he's going to send a petition to Victor Frey, detailing all of the encounters with the Skinari, leaving out any gory or potentially incriminating details. Basically, letting him know this is the kind of shit we've discovered. And effectively with the tone of, we gotta do better than this. This cannot keep happening in license, But yeah, after that, he basically begins a fucking training montage. Obviously, he still has magic due to his bloodline and whatnot, but finds channeling his destructive magic that he had before much more difficult. And he kind of talks to Vivian about it because he finds he's unable to use a lot of essentially damaging spells or magic anymore. Kind of having almost a one-on-one therapy session essentially. And basically figures out he's kind of lost the will to directly kill people. And at the end of the 2 weeks, he's sort of mastered his new abilities. He also enrolled in some essentially college courses, studying licensed law, essentially. And he seeks to use his new skill set to defeat evil in the courts and more official capacities, in between the Silver Lining defeating evil on the battlefield. Still equipped with the ability to give them an occasional boost, distraction, or charm to help out in battle. Also, something I didn't say in that message, I think he also spends just a lot of time with Camillus, getting to know him as a person, his background and whatnot. And I think they probably grow a bit closer over that time as well.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm sure you probably already know this, but that instance of Nimra giving you the ability to cast Bless, you still have that, by the way.
Sick!
Just because that was her rewarding you for making progress on your promise to her.
Hell
and
yeah.
You still did that, so she wouldn't take that away.
Worth noting, by the way, he does clarify to her, hey, I'm still going to keep my promise to you, but I just think that instead of using this particular skill set that's more innate, that I'm going to try and do something for myself,
Yeah. No, your mother totally understands. And again, this is still you fulfilling, because despite the fact that you may not be a warlock anymore, you still have a pact with her.
Yes.
And that, you still have your end of a bargain to uphold with her. And she had no issues redirecting the trajectory at which you attain that agreement. You don't get a direct response from Victor Frey, but that's also, he is the Prime Minister of License, so...
The man's busy. I totally get it. By the way, just for the sake of the other players at the table, the DM and the audience, when I say Nimmer gives him a silver tongue, I mean that literally. His tongue is now silver.
Whose tongue did she give you?
I don't know, and I didn't ask.
What'd you do with your old one?
I think there's something wrong with that.
And what happened to his old one is Nimmer probably took it.
No, she made his existing tongue silver.
I know, but that was funny.
It was funny. You're a jackass, but it was funny.
She then took it and then gave you a different silver tongue for some reason?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Where does she keep getting these tongues?
She just makes them. They're like sculptures. It's her hobby.
13,
that was
tongues.
that was Nimra's pandemic hobby, was carving silver tongues out of silver. Well, I wasn't gonna say people, but sure.
There isn't necessarily much for me to roll for me to have you roll for, but over the course of the next few weeks, you do...
I would argue that trying to learn law is something worth rolling for.
Yeah, I guess make me a history check.
I shall.
Vivian will help. Turns out Vivian is a really good study buddy.
I'm also going to use the magic of guidance.
I rub it in.
Okay. And then that. Okay. 24.
Yeah, so... as you're trying to take this new approach to how you handle things, and generally speaking, you learn quite a bit. You learn a lot, because, you're not from Kalmra.
True.
So, you learn a lot about how, their systems work, not only in just license, but all over Kalmra, because not all of them have the same form of government. You kind of understand more about, why Camillus was always telling you guys, oh no, we have to do it this specific way, and it's because, specifically in license, there are a lot of laws that basically make it to where it is almost impossible for someone to magically falsify something to present it as, the detect thoughts or alter thoughts. There are so many loopholes in laws and license that make doing something like that virtually impossible. Because since license is such a magically studied place, you find out that there is a bunch of shit that just makes it really hard to use magic to juke the judicial system in license.
For sure.
You also gain a +1 bonus to persuasion checks made for diplomatic reasons.
Or any other kind?
No, I wouldn't say that asking someone to do something for you or asking someone to charge you less is diplomatic.
Fair enough. I will mark that on my character sheet. Thank you, Dungeon Master.
And with that,
Also, I guess he also picks up the shamisen because I get musical instrument proficiency now. So, yeah, he learns how to play the shamisen.
sick. But you also do definitely get closer with Camillus, and since you have some new magic, Camillus is a sorcerer, but he also does know a little bit of the I don't want to say mind altering, but the type of magic that is a little more words and effects and supportive things, similar to that of what a bard would know. And
Also, when Xander comes back, he wears glasses now.
Ooh, what a nerd.
Xander's wearing glasses. Why are you wearing glasses?
I was gonna make a joke about how my perception bonus decreased, but it actually didn't. So I think he just
Yeah,
did
'cause
it
you
to
have
look
glasses,
smarter.
It would have decreased if you didn't have glasses.
Yeah, there you go.
He's just wearing glasses to look cool.
To look more sophisticated, shall we say.
Who wants to do Johnny's downtime for him?
No.
He's going to be describing so many spells.
I think
Yeah.
Johnny his downtime goes up to Vivian and says, "Here's all my magic items."
Here, I can actually give those to you right now.
Yeah, just take him off his corpse.
No. Xander buys Vivian a poncho.
She doesn't know what to do with that. It's great. Marking that on my character sheet. 1 poncho.
You're gonna look at that like 6 months from now and be like, "The fuck is this?"
Why do I have a single poncho? Is this poncho anything? What color is the poncho, and does it have a pattern?
It's purple and gold, and yes, it does have a pattern.
Purple and gold. All right. So I look like your fucking little brother when I wear it. I guess you're not very. Oh yeah, you are very gold. You're full of gold.
Literally, yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking more so like it would look like something more like Vivian style, like in her character art, but would just have like purple and gold coloration, if that makes
Got
sense.
And just roll up looking like your sidekick.
I mean, what an honor, right?
Yeah, of course. Also, can't believe I've been hanging onto that fucking leaf for like 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. How long's it been? And I didn't even
I
get
still
to
have
use it on
9.
myself. Hell yeah.
So, at the end of your downtime, you all have spent it. It has been. God, I can't fucking speak. You guys have had a productive downtime, and so if anyone was away from the manor, you all come back.
This silence is fucking me up.
Oh my god. I just thought of the best joke. Imagine Xander coming back with the glasses and be like, okay, I think the glasses are too strong because there's no way Aspen's that big.
There we go. We are in a new month.
Oh,
Whoa.
Yeah, so when we return, it is on the 8th of Serpens. Still in winter because it is the longest season of the year.
I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry.
And you all come back from your little bit of downtime. I mean, most of you have remained either at the house or within Snow's Reach, so it's not like any of you were really far at any given time, but it is early morning, and you all have all, obviously, since the last day, gained the benefits of a long rest several times.
Here.
And the day is yours.
Well, I think we've all had a very productive time off, but I feel that it is time to get back to work, as they say. So, any ideas on this depths operation? Because my plan so far is, step 1, we go down into the depths. Step 2, something exciting happens. And step 3, profit.
I mean, that sounds good enough.
We triangulated a bunch of positions where the Skinari activity was heaviest and then moved that around the map based on what we knew of the depths. Also based on the dragon sightings that we now know is related to the Skinari in some way. And then finally, based on the village where the Myconids saw the Skinari before. So we have pretty solid leads for where they will be. And I think we have a decent, I don't think it's going to take us very long to get there. So I think if we go to the closest entrance, scope it around for a little bit, find out where they are based on all that information, and then just knock some skulls around. Put them on the defensive before their big attack.
Agreed. Any objections? Good. Let's fucking roll.
Some dice.
And we're going to head to aforementioned entrance, Dungeon Master.
Yeah, actually, y'all's house is very close to the entrance to the depths.
It's almost like that was planned for.
So, it takes you maybe about an hour to find, because you had it marked on your map, so you guys don't need any guesswork as to where it is. And in some of the mountains that kind of narrow the entrance to Snow's Reach, you see that in the side of the cliff face, there is kind of this wall of ice that breaks apart into a very small, but since you have it marked, very obvious. If you didn't know where it was, it would be very hard to find, but since you do, it seems like it's in plain sight. Cave entrance that's very narrow, but just goes directly downward slightly. You can still walk, just kind of you step the wrong way and you'll slide a little bit. But when you descend downward, you feel the familiar surroundings and sights come all around you. There is the mushrooms and crystals coming forth from the ground, and it is cold as shit in here. There are icicles dangling from the ceiling. It is slightly different from where you entered in Farwood, because there are winter and snow fauna, I believe that's the word, down here as well. So there's frost moss and all sorts of different things. There's actually what looks to be a giant dung beetle pushing a snowball doesn't even care that you're there, just kind of is pushing. It's like a snowball mixed with other things. Just pushing it along. Doesn't even give a shit. And once you are all down here, however, I would like everyone to make me survival checks.
Ooh, reliable.
Survival.
I'm going to guide Lysel.
Guiding. Max guidance.
I got a 10.
Alright, I got a 23, a 10, a 21. Do I gotta roll from Jay or Emiko?
Yamako, if you would.
Ew.
Don't be a star.
That was fucking weird. For some reason, my sheet
Don't be a
could
star.
not.
My sheet.
Incredible.
No, damn it. No! Okay. Alright. Okay, so you, based on the way that the Myconids like marked your map and what they told you, I do have a question. Do you guys want to go to the sister colony to ask them if anything has changed or anything like that?
Sure. Fuck it.
Okay. So, looking at your map, and also, just kind of navigating these underground caverns, they are...
One thing I do want to just quick throw out, if you don't mind. As traveling, I think I'm going to be performing on the sham to give every advantage against being charmed or frightened.
Real quick, Allie, can you leave and rejoin the call again and say that again? It's doing robot-y stuff again.
Hello, hello?
Okay.
I'm going to be doing my counter charm performance as we travel, giving everybody advantage on saves against charm and frighten.
Excellent. Alright, so... yeah. You're navigating the landscape, and the caverns in this area are a lot more expansive and layered with a little bit of ice. Some of the crystals are larger, and also the caverns are not as narrow as the former area of the depths you were in, because the last time you were in the depths, it was a more like a cave system part of it, where there were more narrow pathways. This is like you have stepped into another world. There is a large expanse of, twists and turns and cliff faces and walkways that you can traverse under. It is an entirely different area. There are actually giant mushrooms here now that span about like 20 feet tall, where their caps like cover a wider range of area. And the only light coming forth is from like crystals and certain bioluminescent plants ever so often. There is also these like strange kind of gooey things dripping from the ceiling. It kind of looks like sap that also glows, and it kind of looks gooey, but it's remaining like still. It doesn't show any risk of like continuing to fall. but it is strange how it's just kind of dripping from the ceilings like lanterns, but like they look like they're placed like lanterns. And as you're all traversing, I would like everybody to make me perception checks.
I'm going to once again guide Lysel.
Ooh, that's another crazy high number. Not such a bad guidance, but that's okay.
Yeah, so as you're walking, at first it seems very quiet. There's, nothing going on. You don't even see that much wildlife. However, Vivian and Lysel, you kind of get the feeling that, like, nah, there's no way it's this quiet. And there are some, I guess the best way I would say, like, kind of like bushes, rustle, beside you. And it didn't sound like a small rustling. General consensus, you're being followed.
I think Vivian's gonna kind of walk, no, Vivian, don't mind me. Lysel's gonna walk closer to Vivian, and just kind of say, hey, I think we're being followed.
Yeah, Vivian's gonna turn around and say, "Hey, who's there?"
The rustling stops, because again, it's not rustling like someone like just openly going, but it seems like someone who is thus far being very good at being stealthy, but just like one branch moved too far.
I'm trying to eat a bag of like Lay's potato chips or something is what happened.
And the noise stops completely for a second, but you can tell where it's coming from, as they were unsuccessful in hiding from you. But you don't get a response.
Xander is going to clear his throat and say, I'll handle this, and step towards the bushes and say, Greetings, my unsuccessfully hiding friends. Would you care to come out and allow us to converse like civilized folk?
Xander, make me a persuasion check.
Okie dokie. Would you consider this to be a diplomacy-based role?
Yes.
22.
Yeah, there's a long silence for a second. Like a few moments.
Sorry, excuse me, 21. I'm a liar.
Okay. And you hear the bushes rustle a lot more obviously this time, and you see someone step out. This individual is, tall, kind of, well, I won't say strange looking, but this individual has, like, a pale, grayish purple skin. They have, black hair that, like, if you look at it in the light the right way, it kind of has, like, a blue undertone to it. Very messy. But there's, like, a braid on, like, the side of their head, that kind of, like, pokes out of their hair a little bit. They have ears that kind of, like, are in the place where, like, a humanoid's ears would be, but they're kind of wolf-like, and pinned back a little bit. This individual has a tail that kind of, like, sways behind them that is made completely out of bone. And they have random, like, thorny brambles kind of, like, literally growing out of their skin in certain places, like, wrapping around their wrists and forearms. And the individual steps out and says, "My apologies. I thought you were one of the other bastards."
You could not have been more wrong. My name is Prince Xander, and we are the Silver Lining. We're actually here to solve the problem of the aforementioned bastards. Or at the very least, to assist with it.
Right. I apologize for not making myself more known to you. If you were a group of them, I don't think I can take a group of 5 of them on by myself. But I could at least go warn the colony ahead of time.
Very astute. I hold no judgment. We would have done the same in your position, I do not doubt. Speaking of the colony, we were just heading that way. Would you care to guide us, since you seem to already know where it is?
Yeah, the individual kind of cocks their head to the side and, squints at you. Not suspiciously, but almost like they're trying to remember something. You're that group that visited the sister colony, aren't you?
Indeed.
They sent word of you through the spores.
That is most forward-thinking of them.
That makes sense then. Yeah, follow me.
Lead the way. And, yeah. Fucking, we're following.
Yeah, and they start leading you through, and you notice that they kind of have them pressed back into their hair, so they're not hard to notice, but they also have, moth-like antennae pressed down to their head. Instead of, poking up.
Hell yeah.
And they kind of, they put the bow that they had drawn, which, by the way, was nearly invisible. You can still tell that it's there, but it is see-through, it's translucent, so it is not quite invisible, but nearly.
The bow is translucent?
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
But when they put it on their back, completely invisible. Cannot see it.
Sounds like it'd be pretty inconvenient if you ever drop it.
Donde está my bow? But they lead you through kind of this side area where there's mushrooms growing very tall, but they get so tall and overlap and kind of bend inwards that it almost makes an arched walkway. But obviously it's naturally made.
Yeah, pretty dope.
And you all start to hear the distant sound of harmonious music, similar to what you heard in the last place. And they stop at the entrance and then turn around and look. Okay, by the looks of it, we weren't followed. Go ahead and go in.
And we're gonna head on in.
Yeah, and this little village looks completely different from the last one you went into. There are giant mushrooms that have been carved out to make homes, but there's also the crystals. The large crystals here are also large enough where the Myconids have carved into them as well to make homes out of them. So there are people with houses that are just made out of giant crystal structures. And there's also snow on the ground, because if you look up, it's a very far drop, but there's a slight opening in the ceiling that allows snow from the surface to kind of fall in. And it's still dark, as there's also layers of leaves and other crystals, but there are still, it's a wide enough space where the snow can still fall, and then the air currents of the cave system kind of disperse it. So there's a light snow on the ground in here, and there's these little cages with these bundles of flies that are used as lanterns. They have like these little net spheres with these little flies in them that generate light. And when you walk in, like some of the myconids like stop, and you hear like a you hear the chorus again that you heard of welcome and familiarity. It is similar to the last time you were here. And, well, not here, but you know what I mean, in another myconid colony. And the individual, who has not introduced themselves yet, says, if you want to speak to our leader, they like kind of lean to the side and point further down into the town and say, there's a large tree. It's long dead, but it is sort of blossomed into a patch of mushrooms that's kind of leaning on its side. That will be where the leader stays.
Excellent, thank you. And remind me, the title of the leader, or how I should address the leader. That would be...
In common, they would call him Snowfall.
Works for me, thank you. And Xander's gonna start heading in that direction. Giving, like, gentle waves and smiles to the rest of the myconids.
Yeah, the individual waves and then takes their bow back off their back and kind of hovers near the entrance of the city. Yeah, but
Yeah.
But there is this little town, I guess I could call it, of myconids. It's actually a lot bigger than the last one that you were in. It's definitely more expansive. There's a lot more myconids there. And you pass by like this little tent made out of like a mushroom with like there's like cloth draped over it to allow it to be like tent shaped, and you see that there is this big pot, like a wok, like a giant fucking wok that is just filled with soup that smells delicious. Like, it, even from like 30 feet away, you can smell it. And there is like a bunch of like smaller little myconids all hovered around like the little counter in this obviously this is a place for people to get like food, like holding bowls, accepting the soup, and it smells fantastic. And there's also you see people that aren't myconids. You see a few people from obviously all corners of Kelmra that don't really pay any mind. They kind of like wave at you as you pass, but otherwise go back about their business. And you do find that there is a tree that looks like it kind of like started growing and then curled downwards. The top part of the tree is completely dead, but it's the nutrients from its bark has fed this very large like colony of fungi. There's like mushrooms that grow that almost simulate the leaves of a tree, so it still looks like a full healthy tree, but it's more of an illusion of the eye because it is just a bunch of mushrooms and moss that have grown over this dying, decaying tree, in a way giving it life again. And it has a carving into it to make way for a door. Although there isn't like a traditional door, it's just a bunch of vines dangling down to make kind of like a draped doorway.
Gotcha. Do we see Snowfall out here?
Yes, Snowfall, or who you believe to be Snowfall. There's this myconid that is actually very tall and lanky, like maybe about 8 feet tall, wearing like a fur-lined cloak, and has a sort of like bright white and blue coloration to them, and he's like sitting cross-legged in front of the tree and is grinding something up in a mortar and pestle.
Yeah, for sure. Xander will approach, and say, Leader Snowfall, I presume. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
The Myconid looks up at you and then, like, cocks his head to a side for a second and then reaches behind him to one of the mushrooms on the tree and, like, kind of, like, crushes it in his palm and a bunch of, like, spores start to come out of it. And he gestures to himself, gestures to the, like, kind of, like, powder in his hand, and then, like, kind of, like, twirls his hand and then gestures to you.
What is the implication here?
Just because this is something you've been through before, since, you all no longer have a way of talking to plants, he is offering to allow you to make a connection via spores so that he can speak with you properly.
Sure, does he, like, just throw them in my face, or how does this work?
Well, he's asking you for your consent first, but otherwise he would just kind of throw them in your general area, and just being in the cloud of spores won't hurt you in any way. It'll just allow him to communicate with you.
Yeah, I think Xander will bow and say, please. Sort of signaling consent for this.
Yeah. He opens his palm and allows these spores to, like, fall over you in a cloud, and then, like, you know, almost like putting, like, the world sounds different around you. Kind of feels like you've put on, like, a sound-canceling headset. And then you hear his voice say, I apologize. I have not found a way to commune with those who do not speak our language.
That is quite all right. I've recently found myself capable of making anybody able to understand me, but it unfortunately does not go the other way. So this is a much more elegant and agreeable solution. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Leader Snowfall. I am Prince Xander, and we are the Silver Lining. We have come here from your sister colony down in Farwood. We've heard ill tidings of some, shall we say, very terrible people using the depths in this area for ill intent. We were hoping to assist you in putting a stop to it.
Yes. It's actually good that you come to us in this time, considering that we had an altercation with them very recently.
I'm so sorry to hear that. How many casualties?
None, thankfully. We
Most
were
excellent.
threatened, more so. I'm sure you saw one of our guards at the gate. Her name is Gloom, if she did not introduce herself.
We certainly...
They were getting a little too close to our borders. Since their quarry does not reside within our village, they for the most part leave us alone. But they got a little too close, and one of their own suffered a casualty from Gloom's arrows. They had made an agreement to stay away from us so long as we were not, and I hate to use this wording, harboring any of their prey. But they've been testing that limitation as of late. Getting closer and closer and trying to gaze into our community and way of living.
That certainly won't do. Well, my team and I are ready to provide you with a full-scale response, so to speak.
There is one more issue that we have been having as well. Not so much for our community, but there is a smaller, much smaller than ours community of goblins that live in these caverns as well that have been the victim of a dragon attack.
I see. Well, we would certainly be willing to lend these fine goblins our aid. I must ask you, because I am not from this area, I do not live here, which do you feel should take precedence? I do not wish to attempt to lend aid to these fine people only to have it be interrupted by these bastard Skinari.
The reason I bring this up is because normally we remain in contact with this small group, but I have not been able to maintain such a contact over the last few days. I would send some scouts to go take a look, but our colony is small and not full of many fighters, so I've had to double the patrols here. I can't even afford to send Gloom out, for she is our best archer.
Understood. So you wish us to check on the goblins, then, before we strike on the Skinari?
If you would please.
It would be my pleasure.
If they still live and draw breath, they might be able to give you even more insights on the inner workings and locations of these nasty beings, considering that they are much more out in the open in comparison to us.
Of course. When we find them, I have means to send you word remotely. Do you wish me to return after making contact, or will this remote communication suffice for the sake of brevity?
The remote source of communication should suffice, lest the individuals need help getting here, as we offer this place as a safe haven to them if they cannot return to the safety of their homes.
Excellent. If they need an escort back, we would be happy to provide. We wouldn't want any collateral damage with our inevitable skirmishes with the Skinari. That would be damn close to the worst case scenario.
He, nods his head and says, "Of course." The sister colony has told us a lot about you, but it seems that even now you are much stronger than what their words entail. I can sense it. You've come a long way since then.
We've certainly had a lot of practice.
Yes, the frequency of the dragon's visits is increasing, and it seems that they are much more of an irritable bunch lately. Anything helps.
Vivian, would you be so kind as to provide Snowfall here with one of our sending coins?
I give him one.
You can use this to reach us over great distances, should something drastic occur.
He, nods and then, bows to Vivian and says, "Thank you, Constellation Sister." I appreciate you coming and speaking with us first, and I'm glad that we do not need to fear you in our home.
Of course. It would also be incredibly rude of us to begin operations in your territory without your permission.
He waves his hand and says, "One cannot claim the wild nature of the depths, only defend their spot of which they make their home."
Very true, but I assume the sound of fiery explosions would make your people very nervous, should the battles happen close by.
More than likely, but we've been hearing them every day, either way.
Shameful, really. We shall do everything we can. How many hours of travel do we have left at this point when we arrive here?
I mean, you've only traveled for like 1.5, like an hour and 45 minutes, so it's still pretty early on in your adventuring day.
Would you mind pointing me in the right direction of this goblin encampment?
Yes, it is directly north of here. As long as you take the paths that go downward rather than ascend, you should be in the right direction.
Very well. And about how much time would it take to get there from here?
It is about a 30-minute walk from this location.
That is not far at all. Do we have any other questions or anything for this guy, gang?
Did he say anything that he knows about like their numbers, location, strengths, weaknesses, the leader, anything like that?
Xander will ask, but he kind of made it sound like the goblins would know more than he would.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
just in case.
Yeah, so, Xander will ask, do you have any intelligence regarding the numbers, strength, or locations of these Skinari individuals?
From what I know, they like to reside by the larger bodies of water within the depths. They also try to put dens of dangerous creatures in between themselves and us, making it more defensible for them in some ways. They also fare in the more spacious caverns, from my knowledge, due to the fact that they have dragon visits semi-often. But that is all I know. I myself have not ventured out so that I can remain with my people. If you must know more precise locations, you can always ask Gloom on your way out.
I will certainly do so. Have we any other matters to discuss before my team and I get started?
I do not believe so, but I wish you good tidings and safety in your travels.
As I to you. And Xander will once again bow politely and is going to go talk to Gloom real quick and get that extra information from them, potentially.
Yeah, currently, near, the entrance to the city, she's, sitting on a rock, just kind of, crouched down, has her bow drawn, just kind of, looking out over the landscape, leading up to the entrance of the little city. Excuse me.
Gloom, was it?
Hmm.
I have a couple of questions, if you'll indulge me.
Of course. Anything for a group of adventurers, and also a kinsman.
A
She
pleasure.
looks to Lysel for a split second, and then back to Xander.
Snowfall suggested to me that you perhaps had more detailed information as to the Skinari and their locations and whatnot. I would appreciate all information that you have on the subject.
There's a large cavern about an hour and a half, 2 hours east of here. It is a very big exit to a bunch of cave systems that are a little smaller. They seem to be heading in that direction. I have never ventured far enough to see if they have a camp there, but I can almost guarantee you they do, because that's where they herd their victims, in that direction as well.
Sorry, in what direction was it?
It is east of here.
East Colony, Skinari, Mofos. Sick. Well, thank you very much for that information. Do you have anything else for me?
That'll be the larger concentrated area. However, they do make smaller encampments in other places, usually in smaller tunnels, and they like to, for some reason, hang around Umberhulk nests.
Xander is going to look to Vivian and say, Vivian, what is an Umber Hulk?
Jazz, do I know what an Umber Hulk is?
Make me a history check, I believe.
I'm going to give you a
Or
D8 of bardic inspiration for this check, as well as guidance.
Your choice of
Wow.
a history or a nature check, whichever one's better
Am
for
I-
you.
Am I crazy, or didn't you guys encounter an Umber Hulk the last time that you guys were down here?
No, we encountered bullets.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The other major Underdark creature.
So sorry, you said nature or history? I guess they're the same either way.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had one that was better than the other.
Nope. That is a 20.
Vivian, you have heard of these. Not only did you hear about a nest of them when you were in the other, colony, but also just, when discussing, you know, the world and learning about magic and, crafting materials from Madame Pendle, Umber Hulks are large, kind of like insectoid creatures that are, I don't know, kind of like the cross between a bear and a fuck you ant. Like, they are nasty and very aggressive.
And that's what an Umber Hulk is, Prince Xander.
I just remembered I picked up Umber Hulk repellent at the last colony we went to. It's an incense. It should keep them from engaging with us on our way in that direction. Assuming it worked. I haven't tried it yet. Nonetheless, that is very good information.
Yeah, they are... There's another thing about the Umber Hulk is that they are very aggressive and also capable of, in a sense, altering someone's memory. Whenever people do survive an encounter with them, they usually don't remember most of it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Would you say that it reduces their intelligence?
No. But it does use this ability to weaken its foe while fighting it. And limits their capabilities.
Is it like a charm effect?
Let me actually look. No. It confuses them. Makes them unable to perform certain tasks. They can kind of only do one thing at a time.
I guess to be more specific, will counter charm help on saves against that ability?
What, I do not believe so. Does counter charm specify the type of saves, or just saves against being charmed or frightened?
Just saves against being charmed or frightened.
Okay, so it will not, because the effect doesn't charm or frighten, it just does something.
I see. So it basically acts like the confusion spell then?
I believe so.
Okay. Confusion, I believe, is 4th level. Yep, doesn't say anything about being a charm. Fuck me. Alright, well. We tried it. It is good to know. Well, we have the repellent, so hopefully that will help us avoid the fuckers. I don't want to go Umber Hulk hunting unless we absolutely have to.
So,
Anybody else have anything to add to this conversation or anything to ask Gloom before we head up? Once, twice. Alright, let's fucking roll. Head for the goblins.
and you start heading in the direction that Snowfall advised you to head. And like he said, there's like an area where it kind of starts more ascending upwards or going downwards, and you go the right direction, and you maybe after about like 20 minutes, I would like everybody to make me perception checks.
Ooh, that's a natural one.
Where will rag you? That's not good.
I'm not concentrating on anything, so I'm going to give Vivian guidance.
Five. $18. 26 portable tents. Alright, I need an Emiko and a J.
I don't know why you keep asking for all these perception checks when you know what you're gonna get.
That's how this game works, Joey.
Hey, your last one wasn't that bad.
True.
What?
Also, hey, we're natural one besties, Joey. Also, goddamn it, 5 and 6. I hate it here.
Yeah, so once again on the perceptive, Vivian and Lysel, as you're walking along, you start to smell a very nasty kind of smell. It's not like sulfur, but it kind of smells like bile. And it's very pungent, very, I guess the best way I can say is kind of like really strong chemical hitting your nose.
Mhm. It's the kind of smell that smells smelly.
Smell like burnt skin.
Yeah.
And to be clear, they were the only ones that smelled this strong chemical smell?
Yes.
Ugh. What is that? Oh.
All I can think of is Far Cry. Oh, what the fuck is that smell?
Crazy.
It's very bad, whatever it is. Jas, does the smell remind me of anything natural from my former druid times?
It does.
I'm
It
trying to figure out.
reminds me of acid
Ah,
when it has come into
Okay.
contact with things.
we are going to stealth the fuck up because we are
Acid without trace!
dragon. Vivian is going to say that she smells remnants of the dragon, assuming that that's what I get here.
We're passing without trace.
Can I look around and see like any other signs of like like claw marks on the wall or anything else now that I know what to look for?
Yeah, you do notice that, like, on the higher up tops of the mushrooms, you do see that they have, like, whole chunks missing out of them.
Can I take a look at the chunks and see how long it's been since those mushrooms have been gouged, if they're like healing at all or if they're rotting more?
Yeah, go ahead and make me a nature check.
Sure, I'd love to.
I'm gonna give you guidance.
I'd love to have guidance, thank you. God, don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone?
Yeah, sure.
I have so many ways to buff your guys' rolls, it is insane.
That is a 21.
Yeah, you look at it and you can definitely tell that this mushroom had, like, a drop of acid and it just immediately started eroding, like, falling away. And it and the acid dripped all the way through.
Okay, more specifically, I'm looking for the time that this happened to see how long ago the dragon was here.
It looks to be about a day old.
Oh, okay, yeah, we are stealthing the fuck up.
Yeah, so it hasn't been too terribly long. Yeah.
Great. Vivian thinks, all right, I'm going to turn into a cat, and then doesn't. And then thinks, shit. Says we should be quiet.
Yeah. Everyone make me stealth checks.
Was Lysel dropping the pass without trace?
Yeah.
Lysel's peeing, so we can't tell. Lysel, not now.
I got a fucking natural 20 on that stealth check, gang.
Nice. Oh, I got a natural 4.
Oh, we're rolling stealth. My headset on almost stealth in just a second. It's very cold up here.
Chas, would you permit me to use a bardic inspiration to boost Vivian's roll?
Sure.
Go ahead and take a D8, Minnow.
Got it. Historically, the reason that Allie asked is because bards are supposed to do that beforehand. But if you don't mind, I'll take it.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Typically, I'd prefer if we do it before, but like, it's fine this time.
That's all right. It's not gonna do a whole lot.
Hey, that's 3 more.
That's
and the
3 more.
second time you've turned a 15 into an 18.
If that does still fail, God help us all, first of all, but if that does still fail, you do get to keep the inspiration.
Nice. I mean, almost certainly it's a dragon. We'll see.
Is there a reason why specifically we think it's a dragon? All I heard Pat say is that it smells like acid.
Well, we know there's been a dragon operating down here with the Skinnari, and that we're near an area that the Skinnari have been like active-ish in, and then
we
the
know
outpost
that's
that we
a
are
dragon.
investigating have been being attacked by a dragon.
And an
Acid
acid
dragon?
dragon.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
guys
know the
can't
dragon
explain
was down in the depths. I thought it was somewhere else.
We just got that information. Like, just...
Oh.
No, that is wrong. We have known that for a while.
Oh, have we? Okay.
Yes, that one of the things we learned, this is how we learned that these Skinnari were working with a dragon. Way back when we were in the first
Oh,
one.
yeah, true, yeah. First Myconid colony told us that they had an acid dragon down here.
Well,
Also,
you guys
how we
found
pinpointed the location.
You guys found out it was an acid dragon by Vivian getting fucking blasted when you took off that one guy's dragon mark.
Yeah, specifically acid. We found out the hard way.
Vivian got fucking... I think Xander did too, got fucking blasted by acid when you guys removed it.
I didn't even fucking feel it.
I sure as hell did.
Yeah, and... as you guys progress forward, did I get a stealth check from Jay?
Do we have that trace?
Damn it, Joey.
Yes.
Okay, I remember somebody saying that.
Me when I get you, me when I get you, me when I get you. Thank you.
God damn it!
Pretty fucking badass, actually.
So, as you start to make your way forward, there is evidence of like random little pools of acid that have basically absorbed into the dirt and rock. There's melted puddles of what was obviously like snow or ice before that have succumbed to like the heat, and kind of around like a corner. After a few minutes, it is now eerily quiet over here. There are more indications of like mushrooms kind of slumping over from being partially melted. There are bones in piles of acid that you can't tell if they are humanoid or something else, like a creature of some kind. And you, after about, like, how long does Pass Without Trace last?
An hour.
Okay. After about, like, 9 minutes or so, you turn kind of round around a corner and you see, it's not really, like, nestled in a corner. It is kind of in, like, a little open area of, like, mushrooms and rocks and stuff. You see that there is a tiny, like, settlement, where half of it is completely, the buildings have melted. I have no other way to say that than they have just melted. Slumped over, dissolved. Some of it, like, so cleanly. And you see, because you can see it pretty clearly, near the entrance of this little town, you see that there are, like, 4, I believe, let me make sure that I'm saying this right. There are 4 wargs, just kind of hanging out, near the, front, and they have like dark black fur, and they have a kind of like long snouts. They would almost look wolf-like, but they're kind of like rounded off a little too much, and their noses look more like bat noses. And they have overlapping teeth and pinned back pointy ears, and on their face they don't have as much fur, kind of like, you know, those like werewolf cats, kind of like that. How they have like just skin on their face and then this kind of like wiry fur. And they're just kind of pacing near the front of this area. Very obviously stressed too. These animals are not feeling great. One of them even has a bandage on its front leg from likely some sort of recent injury.
Do wargs count as beasts for the purpose of speak with animals?
Let me go check.
I think they're monstrosities. I think I'm shit out of luck.
They are monstrosities.
Can we try to make it like an animal handling check if we have meat?
I mean, I can just straight up speak to them, no problem. But I won't be able to have them communicate with me. And I was hoping to do some information gathering.
I mean, if we get them on our side.
Do we get the impression that if they see us, they will become hostile?
It's kind of hard to tell. They do look very stressed, but they also look trained. You know, these don't just look like, you know, some wild animals placed at the front. Like, they do look coordinated.
Sure, but we don't know if they're trained by the Skinari or the goblins.
You do not.
Do we see any other signs of life? Anyone else that may be around apart from these wargs?
Make me a perception check, Vivian.
Sure. Hey, you know, sometimes you roll a 5. That's okay. It's an 11.
You kind of, like, look beyond the wargs, Vivian, and you can't see any, like, people specifically, but you can tell that some of the buildings have, like, had recent repairs.
Gotcha. Also by 11, I, of course, mean 13. I'm just silly.
Yeah. You can tell
it appears that people are still living here.
Yeah, because you can tell that, again, because you got an earlier check that said the acid was only, like, a day old, and that has persisted through your travels. And, so this had to have happened, like, within, like, they probably had another attack, because Snowfall did say that happened a few days ago, so they probably had another one, but these buildings had to have been, like, started repair after that acid, because it's been covered up, or,
Sure, yeah. Let's
it.
get a familiar up in the air. We'll see if there are goblins, or if there are Skinari. If goblins, we'll go talk. If Skinari, we'll go fuck up. Sound good to everybody?
Yeah.
Great. Send in the bird. Bird, go.
Yeah.
Shoot, actually, the bird's name is Esme, but still.
Yeah, you send out your embered raven, and you can. Are you looking through its senses? I'm guessing.
Correct.
Yeah, and
Also, I just want to do a quick thing while we're doing recon. I'm gonna ritual cast a tiny hut around us,
Just in case.
just in case. I'm gonna make it look like a boulder.
yeah, and Vivian, you send your familiar over, and I would like your familiar to make me an investigation check.
Oh my god, how could you do this to me? I don't have my raven thing up because I'm not a druid, but I can get it super fast. Investigation?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
I'll explain
she's
why.
kind of dumb. She kind of has a -4 intelligence. But that's a natural 20 for a 16.
Hey, yeah.
So
So
take it.
at first, you don't see anything, like literally. But then, as your raven is like combing through these buildings, you realize it's because they're hiding. At one point, through one of the like buildings that's like kind of destroyed, but not all the way to where like someone could still stay in it. You like fly through a broken window, and like for a split second, the raven swoops under the bed, and you see a goblin child hiding under the bed. Actually, 3 of them, but one of them is bigger than the others and kind of like shielding them, and they're kind of like hiding, and they see the bird, and they like flinch, and they go, "Ha! Oh,
Oh,
just a bird." Bird.
Vivian says, easy XP. Great.
No.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I think in that case we'll bring the bird back. Vivian says it's just the goblins there. Assuming she didn't see anybody else.
No, you didn't see anyone
Just
else.
goblins.
Again and again, like that was the first set of goblins you see. You see that a lot of them are just kind of hiding.
Sure, no worries. Yeah, in that case, let's try and sneak into one of the buildings because it's possible that what they're hiding from is still around. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
So yeah, we're gonna sneak over to one of the buildings, hopefully one where I saw a goblin adult.
Yeah, and make me another set of stealth checks.
Cool. Better.
Okay. I got a 24.
Ooh.
And rolled so badly left.
Oh my god. Jay! Jay!
Sorry, I was answering the thing.
Was the thing your stealth check? And I don't care.
Oh, it was.
And I don't care.
Oh no.
I'm wearing heavy fucking armor and I don't have a dex bonus.
Gotta get you something to cover that up. Some boots of elven kind or something.
Oh no.
We're cooked, chat.
It's alright. The worst case scenario is that the warg see us and tear us apart.
They won't tear us apart.
Yeah,
I've got a thing. Yeah, none of my spells deal damage anymore, except for Vicious Mockery.
Close enough. Welcome back, Sin Battalion.
Hey, Sin had like psychic glance and like a whole bunch of other shit like that, and dissonant whispers.
Did you go with eloquence or lore, by the way?
Eloquence.
Okay.
Yeah, that check earlier, you were like, oh, make a persuasion check. I rolled a 4 on the die. It just didn't matter.
Yeah, and then do we got a stealth check from Emiko? So I see
Emiko.
that Mickey's back.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I can now.
Okay, cool. I switched over to my computer because Dakota left, and I was for some reason unable to hear you guys, but now I'm good. So, what are we rolling? Stealth?
Yep.
We still have pass. Which tells you just how bad Jay and I both roll.
You know what? You're making me think of something.
I'm glad I can make you think, Joey.
Mine's the
sorry.
same as just before, because I rolled the same number.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
So,
Joey is.
as you're all trying to make your way maybe to like loop back around and spot like loop your way back around and maybe go through like the back entrance of one of the buildings, unfortunately, Jay, you are loud as fuck, and one of the wargs like its ear twitches and it doesn't attack, it just starts barking, or the way that a warg would.
As soon as I start hearing it barking, Xander is going to say, down, boy, and I'm going to cast Calm Emotions on all the wargs.
And what save is that?
Let me pull it up, because I don't fucking remember. Each creature... Oh, does this only work on humanoids? That's fucking lame. Okay, well, in that case... I'm going to use my action to allow the wargs to understand me. And I'm going to say, calm down, it's fine. We are friends, here to help.
Xander, make me a persuasion check.
Sure. Natural 2, so 21.
Yeah. The one that starts barking, there's one of them that's a little bigger, not by much. You can only tell when it like lifts its head. The one that's barking. He snaps at his maw. And the other one like whimpers a little bit and stops barking. And the bigger one kind of like takes a few steps forward and says, in common, state your business.
We are here to help, sent by Leader Snowfall of the Myconid colony to check on the goblin encampment here.
The warg like takes a few steps back and then lifts up its head and does a howl that's not that loud, but loud enough to where anyone within the little village can hear it. And he then like gestures to the other three and says, stand by them. And the other three wargs walk forward, but they are not aggressive. Weary, but not aggressive. And after about but it is a little tense, because, you know, not that wargs are so scary for a group of level 6 adventurers, but, you know, not the fight you want, right?
We're level 7.
Level 7 adventurers.
God.
But not the, you know, still not the fight you want to be in right now, because you're trying to help. And, you know, there's a kind of tenseness in the air as they're, like, staring you down, and then after a few minutes, you see a goblin woman come out next to the ward that had walked away. She has kind of like darker blue skin and obnoxiously large ears that point downwards. They almost kind of look like the droopy rabbit ears, but not quite. They have a little more shape to them. And she has kind of like grayish, lighter blue hair that is in dreads that are pulled back into like a ponytail, but the cord holding her hair up is like a leather cord bound with a bone in the back. It looks like a bird skull of some kind of pins it all together so that she can hold her hair up. And she's actually wearing a set of like studded leather armor. And she has tattoos along her forearms because she's not wearing any gauntlets at the moment. And she has 2 scimitars crossed over her back. And she comes out and she pets the warg and says, "Good job. And who are you lot?"
It's good to meet you. I am Prince Xander, and this is the Silver Lining. We are sent on a mission by the leader of the Myconid colony nearby to check on their allies. What with things being nasty down here.
So Snowfall sent you.
Indeed.
Well, we would have sent out word sooner, but the dragon burnt away the spores. That's how we communicate with them, you see. Come, let's not stand out in the open. If it comes back, we have no defenses standing right here.
Indeed. And yeah, we're gonna boogie.
Yeah, some of the other, like, goblins had come out with their weapons drawn, and she holds up her hands and goes, "Back to protecting your families. In your positions, please." And some of them, like, kind of, like, back off a little bit. And she leads into one of the larger and more well-kept buildings. And there's, like, 7 locks on it when she leads you inside. And again, this little village is comprised of, like, basically enough buildings to form a circle, and then there's, like, a fence built around it. And then the rest of the cover is provided by, like, the large mushrooms that act as trees. And they have, like, a few animal pens that are empty and destroyed for maybe obvious reasons. But she brings you into this little house that's, like, cylindrical in shape, but has, like, a wooden, like, a bark roof. And on the inside, there's, like, a little stove, like a little fire pit, and, like, a bed, and a desk, and then a very big chest, and that's all that's in this room. But it's big enough for all of you to stand in comfortably. And she leads you inside and says, "The Myconids don't know this, but we were attacked again yesterday."
That explains the acid we saw outside.
Yeah, she's trying to finish us off. Didn't get even half of us the first time, but we were ready the second.
If we were to lead a strike on the Scanari that the dragon is allied with, perhaps that would draw its attention and its, I was going to say fire, but I suppose acid, away while you evacuate.
Whatever works to just get us to the Myconid colony safely. We haven't felt safe enough to leave, is the biggest issue. I am not sure if the dragon remains around. I've not heard any of her calls. She doesn't stay in the depths. I'm not sure why. Maybe her lair is somewhere else. But
I suppose we'll find out soon enough. Are there any among you that cannot walk at the moment?
only one of us. My grandmother. She lost a leg. But
Well, if it's just her, then perhaps the wargs could assist?
likely, I'd assume. We were trying to reach out to the Myconids, hoping that maybe they could send a few to escort us, because we are few in numbers and much fewer after her. We already were not that big of a village.
Indeed. Well, we have multiple sources of concealment magic that should allow everybody to get back to the colony safely. We'll just have to move quietly.
Yes. My biggest concern is also the children. There are not enough of us to defend them if she attacks again.
We shall see to their safety.
She nods and says, "There's one more thing. The
Please.
last attack, she took one of us.
Do you know where?
No, but I know she took him out of the depths. I have no idea why. We had a seer in our midst. He was chosen by the goddess Guinevere. He helped our land flourish, help us get food, hunt the right prey. He was just an old man. His powers were only used for allowing him to commune with nature and whatnot. He's not a fighter or some sort of war priest or anything like that. She took him alive, too.
And she took him before or after the second attack?
It was during the second attack.
And after she grabbed him, she left, didn't stick around to fight more.
No, she didn't.
Was he present for the first attack?
He was, but I'm not sure what happened. It was very strange. He animated one of the mushrooms and struck her with it.
That's probably why.
I mean, she didn't take anyone else that was defending the place. And she said that they managed to hold off the dragon the second attack. So,
Do you have any other magic users?
Only sort of. We have our healer. That's about it. We are just a community of hunters, mostly. We live in the depths to avoid the harsh blizzards of up above.
do you know where the Skinari are?
They are south of us. About... She, kind of, opens one of the windows and points to, the other side of their village and through the trees, and you can see it make this out. There's a tunnel right there, about an hour from here. It connects to a bigger tunnel that leads into a very large chamber, a large opening. They use that tunnel to get from their camp to this side without any interference.
Well, then
And
I
did the
suppose-
dragon go that direction?
The dragon can't fit in there. Or, if it can maintain some other form, it never does it while under a watchful eye. But I know that they're in that big cavern. My scouts saw them. They have a huge base of operations. They've built walls, they have a steady supply of food and water. It's almost like a mini city in there. It's an entire fortress. I believe that the attacks on us were started when one of my scouts was caught by the dragon, but she didn't react right away. She waited several weeks before making an attack against us.
Interesting.
But I know with certainty that she took our seer out of the depths because I'm not sure how he does it, but he and I have some sort of telepathic link, but once he gets a certain distance away, it's not there anymore. And if she took him to that big fortress, I would know. It's not far enough.
Interesting. Well, priority one is getting you all to safety, but it is good to have a strike point for when that's done. Are you people ready? Oh.
I like your first plan to attack and have them move on their own. Distract whatever's going on, make a big enough noise, make it easier for them to get out.
Is it realistic to assume that they're going to be able to move on their own?
DM?
The woman kind of looks down and says, if the dragon is for sure gone and we don't have any retaliation from the Skinari, we'd be able to make it, but we need that cover. They've been waiting for us to come out.
We're pretty good at being distracting. I would feel better distracting for them than trying to protect them.
That's also fair.
As long as it doesn't bring extra risks to them, I don't mind either way.
Well, if they've been waiting for them to come out, and then we escort them out, then they're just going to attack. So then we will fight them then with all of the people around, which is troublesome. It means that we have backup, obviously, but also means that, they're going to be in the middle of the fight. Alternatively, if we hit them where they're weak, make a big enough noise, force them to come back and deal with it, then will it be easier for them in the long run? Is where I'm at. I'm happy either way. Supportive minnow non-answer.
If we're going to do that, perhaps we can draw... Perhaps after the goblins have left, we can draw any remaining forces to the village. If they think something is happening here, then it will take their mind off of checking to see if they left. If they've been holed out here for some time, it's possible that these individuals are going to need more of an indication that they left. Since all of you were hiding here, under beds and whatnot, I assume they're watching quite closely. Is that an accurate observation? He asks the goblin.
it is. They're waiting for us to give up and leave our camp.
She points in the opposite direction as she pointed to the tunnel before and says,
The ones that are waiting for us to come out of hiding usually camp out a little that way past an Umberhawk nest.
Wouldn't it be a shame if they had some uninvited guests in the middle of the night?
It would. In that case, we should go now before they discover we are here.
Yeah. Especially while we still have Passamatri up. Right, Lysel? Yes, for everyone. That was Lysel.
When the time comes, I will send you a signal. You'll know it when you see it.
Right. Oh, and pardon my rudeness. My name is Nadia.
A pleasure, Nadia. Hopefully we'll be able to discuss more civilized things after you and your people are safe.
Of course. Thank you.
Now then, Vivian, we have a lot of ground to cover. Let's get moving.
Why'd you call out me? Is it because of my little legs? Yeah, let's go.
It was actually because you were the only other person participating in that conversation.
He looks up.
That was
Wow.
because you were goblins. So.
Yeah, she looks over the other goblin and says in goblin, "This bitch, am I right?"
she chuckles. And says, to Vivian and Goblin, carry on well, kinsman.
Yeah, that was a joke, but I am glad that we're sticking with it. So yeah, she'll.
I'm keeping it.
I think Vivian probably didn't even say anything in Goblin, but this person says carry on, kinsman and Goblin, and it's the first time that Vivian has heard her own language from any mouth other than her own in probably over a decade. So I think she stumbles back and says, "What'd she say? You too, wise fish," because she gets the accent wrong.
Nadia chuckles and tries to cover her mouth to keep herself from laughing too much.
What? What did I do?
You called me a fish on accident. You're supposed to say it, and then she adjusts it because the word for fish or leader or something is one syllable off from being the same word.
Yeah.
So then she corrects
For the sake
it.
of comedy, I have decided that Goblin is French, actually.
How dare you?
Yeah. So they just immediately start speaking to each other in fluent French. Great. Yeah, let's go.
We're boogieing.
Yeah, and yeah, so no, stop that. Stop it right now. As you all start heading in the direction of, I'm assuming you're heading in the direction of the ones that are staked out to get them, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you all start to head out, again, kind of going through this mushroom forest, it starts to clear out even more and just kind of be crystal and stone. But there are several holes in the walls that are fairly large in size that just appear in random places in the walls of the cavern. And you see that there are piles of bones, and then you also see, and this is out in the open, so there's no need for a check for it, propped up against the wall, you see a molted shell of an Umberhawk.
Cool. I'm gonna take out the sensor and start burning the Umber Hulk repellent.
Yeah. And, by the way, I'm sure all of you know what an Umber Hulk looks like, but...
No, I don't. Please send a picture.
Yeah, it's basically the molted shell of this.
That's just Chains' big brother.
Chains killed his big brother.
But because we are down, not before we progress into this like next little area, because we are down not only 1 but 2 players, I think that'll be where I end off tonight.
Hell yeah.